Hello everyone. Welcome back to another English learning video. Do you want to learn English faster? Do you want to speak English more naturally? Then this video is for you. Today I'm going to tell you a beautiful story. It is about a young girl who travels alone to Japan. She gets lost in a big city and feels scared. But kind people help her and change her journey. I will tell the story sentence by sentence. Pause the video after each sentence and repeat after me. This will train your brain to think in English. Are you ready? Let's begin the story. My name is Emma Miller, and this is the story about my first trip to Japan. I always wanted to visit Japan. Last month, my dream came true. I bought a plane ticket to Tokyo. I was very excited, but also very nervous. This was my first time in Asia. I did not speak Japanese. I did not know anyone there. The plane ride was very long. It took 14 hours. I watched movies and tried to sleep. Finally, we arrived at Tokyo Airport. The airport was huge. There were so many people everywhere. I got my bag and walked outside. Everything looked so different, but I found the train station. I needed to take the train to my hotel. I looked at the map on the wall. It was very confusing. There were many colored lines. I did not know which train to take. I bought a ticket from a machine. The machine had an English button. That helped me a lot. I got on a train. The train was very clean and quiet. Everyone sat silently. This was different from America. I rode the train for 30 minutes. Then I got off. But something was wrong. This place did not look right. I checked my phone. The map showed I was in the wrong place. Oh no, I took the wrong train. I tried to find the right train. There were trains everywhere. I walked upstairs and downstairs. I asked a man for help. He did not speak English. He shook his head and walked away. I asked a woman. She also did not understand me. My phone battery was getting low. I used it too much on the plane. I tried to save battery power, but I needed the map. The battery went down more and more. 20%, then 10%, then 5%. Finally, my phone died. Now I had no map. I had no way to call anyone. I had no way to find my hotel. I did not know what to do. I sat down on a bench. Then I saw something next to the bench. It was a bag. A black bag with a long strap. Someone left it there. I looked around. Nobody was near the bench. The bag was alone. Someone lost this bag. They will be very worried. I need to find the owner. But how can I find them? I do not know this place. I do not speak Japanese. What should I do with this bag? I cannot keep it. That is wrong. I must return it to the owner. I picked up the bag carefully. I opened it and looked inside. There was a wallet. There was an ID card. I looked at the card. It had Japanese writing on it. I did not read it. There was a photo of a woman. She looked about 60 years old, but I did not understand anything else on the card. I stood up and walked to some people. I showed them the bag. I said, "Excuse me, I found this bag. Do you know this person?" They looked at me with confused faces. They did not understand English. They said something in Japanese. I did not understand them. They shook their heads and walked away. I tried to ask other people, but nobody understood me. I felt helpless. How can I return this bag? Suddenly, I heard a sound from inside the bag. It was a phone ringing. There was a phone in the bag. My heart jumped. This was perfect. I can answer the phone. I quickly opened the bag again. I found the phone. It was ringing and ringing. I pressed the answer button. I said, "Hello. Hello." A woman spoke on the phone. She spoke very fast in Japanese. I did not understand anything she said. I said, "I am sorry. I do not speak Japanese. I found this bag. Do you speak English?" The woman kept talking in Japanese. She sounded worried and upset. I felt bad, but we did not understand each other. The phone call ended. The woman hung up. I felt terrible. Then I saw a police officer. He was standing near the station entrance. He wore a dark blue uniform. I felt so relieved. I ran to him with the bag. I said, "Excuse me, officer. Do you speak English?" The police officer turned to me. He said, "Yes, I speak a little English. Can I help you?" I felt so happy. I said, "I found this bag on a bench. Someone lost it." I looked inside and found an ID card, but I cannot read Japanese. Then a phone call came, but the woman only spoke Japanese. "Can you help me return this bag?" The officer nodded and said, "You did a good thing. Let me see the bag." I gave him the bag. He looked at the ID card. He said, "I know this area. The owner lives near here." Just then, the phone rang again. The officer answered it. He spoke in Japanese for 2 minutes. Then he hung up. The officer said that was the owner. "Her name is Mrs. Tanaka. She is coming here now. She will be here in 5 minutes." I said, "Oh good. I'm so glad." We waited together. After 5 minutes, I saw a woman running toward us. She had white hair and kind eyes. She was breathing hard from running. The officer gave her the bag. She opened it and checked inside. Everything was there. She looked so relieved. She turned to me. She took my hands in her hands. Her eyes filled with tears. She said something in Japanese. I did not understand the words, but I understood her feelings. She was very grateful. I said, "You're welcome. I am happy I found your bag." The officer translated for me. Mrs. Tanaka nodded. She said something else. She looked worried. She pointed at me and made a sad face. The officer said to me, "She wants to know why you look so sad. She asks if you're okay." I said, "Yes, I am sad. I am lost. My phone died. I cannot find my hotel." The officer translated to Mrs. Tanaka. She looked very concerned. She took out her phone and started calling. The officer said, "Mrs. Tanaka wants to help you. She is calling her grandson. He speaks English. He can help you." I said, "Oh no. She does not need to do that." But Mrs. Tanaka was already calling. After 2 minutes, she hung up. She smiled at me. The officer said, "Her grandson will be here in 10 minutes. I said, "Thank you so much." Mrs. Tanaka and I sat on the bench. The officer went back to his post. After 10 minutes, a young man arrived. He was about 25 years old. He wore jeans and a black jacket. He said in English, "Hello, you found her bag and returned it. Thank you so much." I said, "I am happy I can help." He said, "My grandmother told me you were lost. Your phone is dead. My name is Kenji. What is your name?" I said, "My name is Emma." "Nice to meet you, Kenji." Kenji said, "Nice to meet you too. Please let me help you." I said, "Thank you, but you do not need to do that. I am okay." Kenji smiled and said, "My grandmother will not accept no. Where is your hotel?" I showed him the paper. Kenji said, "I know this place. First, we need to charge your phone." Mrs. Tanaka hugged me. I said, "Thank you, Mrs. Tanaka." Kenji and I walked to a store. He bought me a phone charger. We sat at a cafe. I plugged in my phone. Kenji asked, "Is this your first time in Japan?" I said yes, but I did not expect to get lost. Kenji laughed. My phone turned on. It was 7 o'clock. Kenji said, "I can show you Tokyo tonight. Then I will take you to your hotel." I said, "Really?" Kenji said, "Yes, you helped my grandmother. Now I help you." I said, "Okay, thank you." Kenji took me to a ramen shop. The ramen was delicious. Then we visited a beautiful temple. Next, we went to Shibuya. We saw the famous crossing. Then we went to a tall building. We saw all of Tokyo. The city lights were beautiful. Then Kenji took me to my hotel. I said, "Thank you so much, Kenji." Kenji said, "You're welcome. Do you have plans for tomorrow?" I said, "Not really." Kenji said, "I can be your tour guide tomorrow." I said, "Really, but I should pay you." Kenji said, "No, you helped my family. Now I help you." I said, "Okay, thank you." Kenji wrote down his phone number. He said, "Message me tomorrow morning." I said, "Perfect. Good night, Kenji." Kenji said, "Good night, Emma." I went in my hotel room. I was tired but happy. Today started badly. I was lost and scared. But then I found Mrs. Tanaka's bag. I returned it. She sent her grandson to help me. Kenji showed me beautiful places. He became my friend. I lay in bed and smiled. Getting lost was scary, but it led me to something wonderful. I learned that kindness creates more kindness. Tomorrow, I will see more of Japan with my new friend. I closed my eyes and fell asleep. Japan was already in my heart. Now it's your turn to practice. Go back to the story and listen carefully. Pause the video after each sentence and repeat after me. This is the shadowing technique. It helps you speak English like a native. Practice a little every day, and you will see amazing progress soon. Your English will sound clearer, smoother, and more natural. See you again in the next English learning video.